Um,
Absolutely.
you mentioned your 5 Cs. So you gave us C2, right? Are
Yeah.
you teasing us
Too.
with the other Cs?
We're playing bingo. So the first C is clarity. And
Clarity.
before you give a presentation, there are two questions you have to ask yourself. And it's amazing to me, 95% of the people I work with cannot answer one or both of these questions in a succinct manner. So those two questions are, who is your audience? And what is the problem that you solve? A lot of people say, oh, everybody's my audience. I'm like, well, if everybody's your audience, nobody's your audience. The riches are in the niches. You really want to narrow in and figure out who's that dream person that you're working with. And then what's the problem that you solve? Most people, they get very complicated. They get very clever. I'm like, you want to use the language of your audience. I mean, if they're starving to death, always talk about, are you hungry? Are you able to sleep at night? This is common. That's common language. Too many people try to impress their audience with their own ego and their vernacular. Like, that's not how human beings speak.
Yeah.
It's all right to say and you know what I'm saying and things like that. That's how people speak, and that's what we're trying to do is connect with people. And so once you answer those clarity questions, we know specifically who your audience is and what the problem is that you're solving. Then we connect with your audience. You're right. We've talked about that. You talk about then you go into the content of your presentation, which is the largest part of your presentation. And ironically, it's the least important part of your presentation because, forgive me, I'm into research. The research shows us that people remember the beginning of your talk and the end of your talk. They don't remember anything in between. Translation, the bun's more important than the burger. But here's a key point I want your audience to understand. What people do remember is, are you helpful? So this is fascinating to me, the research on
Mm.
this. So one of my mentors was a guy, he's no longer with us. His name was Jim Trelease, and he wrote this great book called The Read Aloud Handbook. And what he did is he went around the country training parents how to read aloud to their kids. Wonderful presenter, one of the best presenters I've ever seen. And all of a sudden, in the middle of his presentation, he'd say, oh, I'm going to teach you something. This will save your life someday. If you ever lock yourself out of your car and you don't have your keys, all you have to do, as long as you have your cell phone, call your spouse, have your spouse put the key next to the cell phone. You put your cell phone next to the car door, it'll unlock the car.
Get out of here.
Marcy, I've tried this from 3,000 miles away. It actually works.
No way.
It doesn't work on
No
like
way.
it wouldn't work on a Tesla because Tesla doesn't work like that. But
Yeah, because I use my phone.
the old things that you have like a fob with it, like
Uh-huh.
I had a Toyota Corolla, and this happened to me. And
Really?
here's what's great about this. This has nothing to do with his presentation whatsoever. I've seen men and women come up to him after a presentation. Oh my gosh, I saw you 6 years ago. I remember that trick you taught us. And oh my gosh, it saved my life. Ever since then, I've been telling everybody they have to hire you as a speaker. Has nothing to do with his presentation, but what he demonstrated to the audience is he's helpful. And that's what
I
they're
love
looking.
it.
They're looking for solutions to their problems. So, for example, I'm working with a woman right now, and she works with people with clinical depression. Of course, I don't have a pen on me. So, um, where's a pen? All right, I got it. All right, I got a
Need
pen.
props. Need
I
props.
I have a pen. I didn't bring my prop. So I said, well, why don't you tell your audience, hey, everybody, take a pen and bite down on it. So this is interesting. So when you bite down on a pen, it triggers a hormone in your mind which signals to your brain that you're happy, that you're smiling. And so it actually produces endorphins in your brain to make you happy. So there's actually a way to trick your brain into happiness just by biting on a pen. It makes your brain think you're smiling, which then you actually do produce the same number of endorphins. This isn't anything, this is just a simple little thing that she can do in her talk. And all of a sudden, people are like, that was a really cool strategy. For example,
Exactly. They don't care what she talked about. It was the little tip she threw in somewhere in the middle.
I talk to people all the time. Like most people waste their time on social media when they're on phones. I'm like, I'm actually very intentional on my cell phone. I have my calendar give me reminders all the time. So every day, so I'm a bad Christian, so I'm trying to learn different pieces of scripture. So every day at 4:29, I go over Ephesians 4:29, which is whatever you. I'm screwing. I'm going to screw it up. I haven't. You have to. I haven't learned it yet. So it's. Oh, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. So I'm practicing it. But so every day I'm practicing that. Um,
That's a great mantra
yeah.
though,
I mean,
to
I read the
say
book.
every day at 4:29.
Yeah, yeah. I read the book Dune. So and there's this thing called the Litany Against Fear. And so every day at 9/11, I practice it. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is a little devil.
Yes, yes.
So I practice that.